pronunciation on the slide too. Yeah.
Bring this out.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Halloween. We have some fun things for you today. It's always an exciting day. We're going to open today with a song called Samhain Night. There's a bunch of different pronunciations of this word, and none of them have an M sound in them, and yet the word is spelled with an M. So everybody say it with me. Samhain. Samhain. Good. It is the Celtic pronunciation of the word, and it refers to honoring our ancestors, kind of like the Day of the Dead, the Dia de los Muertos, all right? So we're going to teach you the chorus. We're going to sing it once, and then we'll do it for real, okay? So here's what it sounds like. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of O Samhain Night. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of O Samhain Night. Okay, pretty easy. So here we go. Ready, Mike? 1, 2, ready, go. Here we go. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of O Samhain Night. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of Do that again. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of O Samhain Night. Light the sacred as we celebrate the harvest and the Celtic New Year. Come with me into the woods deep in a sacred grove and dance with me for life and love as the elements unfold. Here we go. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of O Sour Night. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome, stand of O Sour Night. We honor our ancestors, loved ones who have passed. We keep them in our memory with love and always last. Tonight they pass the bridge of swords to be with us again through the veil of spirit world into the realm of men. By oak and ash and thorn, we build a sacred fire. We dance until the morn. The smoke it rises higher. Study close the shadows, study close the flame. A voice from long ago may whisper your name. We dare not fall asleep till the promise of a gentle dawn. Away the spirits creep. Another sound will come and gone, but we will not forget their loving presence here. Those who've gone before us will honor all the year. Here we go. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of O Sour Night. Light the sacred fire, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirit of O Sour Night. So hold each other tight and walk though in a sweet dream through Old Sour Night, where things are never as they seem. Here we go. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirit of Old Sour Night. Light the sacred fires, hold each other tight. Welcome now the spirits of Old Sour Night. All right, you got away with it. I forgot to tell you to stand, but
You want to
now-
be on your feet for this next one.
Yes, and we might have a special guest helping us out with this next one. Dr. Wohl.
Actually, it's Dr. Feelgood. And
Join in.
please, let's see. Oh, hang on a second. I don't want to sing the wrong song.
Oh, doctor.
There we go. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready?
All right, let's go.
Need your help on this?
Well, I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. My monster from the slab began to arise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash.
he did the monster mash.
He did the mash.
The noise of a guard smash.
He did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash. The bats were hanging in the castle eaves in the master bedroom where the vampires sleep. The ghouls all came from their earthly abode to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
They did the mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
It's called the Monster Mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included the Wolfman, Dracula, and his son.
Oh, they did the mash.
They did the Monster Mash.
They did the mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
It's called the Monster Mash. Now the scene was rocking over digging sounds. Igor was back with the baying hound. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with the vocal group, the Crypt Kicker
They
Five.
did the mash.
They did the Monster Mash.
They played the mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They played the mash.
It caught on in the flash.
They played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash. Now, out of his coffin, Drax's voice did ring.
Wow.
Seems he was troubled by just one thing.
Wow, wow.
He opened his lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
Now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash."
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
It's now the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash. Now everything's cool. Drax part of the band.
Whoa.
The Monster Mash is the hit of the land. And Monster Mash is meant to, when you get to my door, let Boris send you.
Then you can mash.
Then you can Monster Mash
The monster mash.
and do my graveyard smash.
Then you can mash.
Hey, you'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mash.
Then you can Monster Mash.
Mash good.
Easy, Igor. You impetuous young boy. Settle down.
Please be seated.
You're not looking very good today. You can see the doctor.
Well, so let me just start off. Do we have any newcomers here? Anybody here for the first time? Okay.
We're sorry.
I want to. It's usually not like this. Sometimes it's even crazier. Okay. But this is our kind of our special celebration of Halloween, and we like to have fun and play because fun and play are definitely divine attributes, and one of the things that we are supposed to experience in this journey that we call lifetime. So, by that explanation, welcome. You honor us with your presence. We are so glad to have you here. If you have any questions, I know that you're a friend of Judy, right? You certainly could ask her or anybody else that's here today. And if you have any questions of me, I'll be glad to spend time with you after the service. And please do join us for coffee and treats downstairs. No tricks, just treats downstairs after the service for part of our hospitality. Let me take this moment now to remind everybody to please silence your cell phones. And I want to continue to officially welcome all of you on this last Sunday in October, 2 days away from Halloween. And I want to welcome those of you who are tuned in on our YouTube channel. We are glad to have you with us in spirit, if not actually in person. And with that, I want to invite Bobby to please come forth and share today's daily word reading.
That's kind of a tough act to follow here. But anyway, we welcome you today and say wherever you are on your spiritual journey and your path, we welcome you here. So today's daily word is quite appropriate, actually. It's imagination, and I think we used that today. Many of us did. So I imagine and create my most magnificent life. I admire the storyteller's gift for creating fantastic worlds where impossible things happen. I immerse myself in the story, allowing myself to feel the wonder, the exhilaration, and even the sadness the storyteller's imagination has created. No matter how scary the story, there is nothing to fear. It is only a story. My imagination helps me create my life story. Guided by divine wisdom and will, I imagine a positive, meaningful life. If disturbing thoughts cloud my imagination, I remember I am God's living expression. There is nothing to fear. My spiritual gifts of faith, love, strength, and understanding join with my imagination to build the fulfilling life of my heart desires. And from Joel 2:28, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons, your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. So I will be here after the service as your prayer chaplain. So no one need to leave here today with a heavy heart. Or if you have joyful things you would like to share, we also like to hear those. So blessings.
Thank you, Bobby. And now I invite all of you to please join with me in praying our Spirit's unfolding vision prayer. Guided by divine wisdom, inspired by divine imagination, centered in divine love, and knowing that God is our source, we boldly move forth in faith as we allow Spirit's expanding vision to unfold in our lives, the life of this spiritual community, and our world. Thank you, God. Amen. And now, please return to your feet and join in singing and praying the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory
Please be seated. I love the next part of the service. It's time for us to bless our children, so I invite our children and their sponsors to please come forward. That was baby talk for thank you. Please join me in the blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you, and know that you are empowered to do great things.
Watching, 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 watching.
Watching, watching, watching.
Watching, watching, watching.
Watching for you and me.
Ready, Terry?
I think because we're going to talk about home, this song really was done by John Denver and really talks about how important going home was. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old here, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Everybody!
Country roads take me home
To a place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads take me home to a place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. I hear her voice in the morning now, she calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away, and driving down the road I get feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country road, take me home to a place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. Oh, take me home, country road. Hey, thank you, thank you.
I really want to thank the music team. Folks do not realize the hours and the time and the effort and the spirit that they put into this ministry that makes such a difference to us here at Fox Valley on our Sunday services. And hey there, witchy lady.
Hello.
What's going on?
You You know, I'm looking for a dog named Toto.
A dog named Toto?
Toto, yes.
How strange on this time when we're celebrating Halloween.
I don't know. The dog's name is Toto. What can I say?
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
What kind of witch do I look like? I mean, really.
Watch out.
I'm-
Be careful.
I'm trying to decide which witch to tell.
I'm a really good bad witch.
But do you have a feature that I'm really kind of attracted to, and that is your broom?
It's a really nice broom, isn't it?
It's a lovely, lovely broom.
It's taken me so many places.
I really could use a broom like that.
Well, you can't have it because it's my broom.
No, but you don't understand. I really, really need that broom.
It's my broom.
No, you don't.
Hey, back off, buddy. It's my broom.
What are you going to do? Back off.
I'm going to get the flying monkeys.
I don't see any monkeys anywhere.
Oh, well, of course you don't. They're in your imagination. They're in your head. You can't see them.
Ah, I understand. But you got to understand, I really need that broom in order to get home. I would do anything for that broom.
Well, it does seem like really important to you. So, one of my birds just flew by. Maybe we could do a swap of some sort.
What is it you want? I'll do anything.
Well, I'm really eyeing that fancy footwear you got on there. And they're not ruby slippers or anything, but they're pretty cool.
I can't trade these for you, for your broom. I just can't bring it in my heart to do so. If these mean anything to you at all, you could just have them. I'll just give them to you. I can't take advantage of a deal. I just really need the broom to get home.
Don't you know that this broom is just a broom? It doesn't really have any sort of magical powers.
I'm not expecting to fly around it, and I'm not expecting to fly home on it, but it inspires me. You know, the lower bristles symbolically represent an opportunity to sweep away all of my error thinking and all of my old thoughts that don't serve me. And the shaft is something solid for me to hang on to, like I desperately need to be reminded to hang on to my truth.
If it's that important to you, then I think you should have it.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Did you ever consider going into the ministry?
Well, I'm no kind of wizard, I'll tell you that.
God bless you.
Thank you, Witch. And by the way, I think you are even more beautiful than Glenda.
Thank you.
Well, you just witnessed a little presentation courtesy of the Not Ready for Primetime Unity of Fox Valley Art Group. Thank you, Susan, for putting up with me and the impositions I sometimes place upon you. So here we are, 2 days away from Halloween, and so out of an appreciation of that, we're going to talk about a little bit different gospel today. And this is the gospel according to L. Frank Baum. And if you don't know who that is, he is the person that wrote the story of the Wizard of Oz. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, that's not a gospel, you know, all that a gospel means is the good news. So a story that really presents to us and brings us the good news of who we are and of the Christ essence within us in any way, shape, or form qualifies as a gospel. But today we're just going to concentrate on one aspect of that story, the witch's broom, which is the topic of our message today. So in the story, the character of Dorothy wakes up and finds herself in a very, very strange place called Munchkin Land. And all that Dorothy wants is to return home. That's all. And so she gets some advice from Glenda, the good witch, and from the Munchkins, that the one person, the one individual that might be able to help her out is the great and wonderful and all-powerful Wizard of Oz. And she asks for directions, and she is promptly told, "Follow the yellow brick road." And she gets on the road, and she starts on her journey to see the wizard. And on the way, she meets up and befriends 3 companions. There's the Scarecrow, who really wants to have a brain. And there is the Tin Man, who just desires to have a heart. And there's the Cowardly Lion, who lacks, but so desperately longs for courage. And so arm in arm, they go off, they embark upon the yellow brick road, but not without incidents, some of which were very frightening, including a couple of confrontations with the Wicked Witch of the West, who threatens to do all of them in, to do Dorothy in one of my favorite lines from the movie, "I'll get your little dog, too." But they survive it, and they make their way all the way to Emerald City. And they approach the home, the castle of the Wizard of Oz. And they walk in tired, exhausted, but exhilarated and filled with joyous anticipation that their wants, their needs are going to be served, only to be disappointed. See, the wizard wasn't as kind and compassionate as they were expecting. He was rather gruff, almost mean, and instead of granting them their wishes, he sends them out and says, "If you want your wishes granted, first you must bring me the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West." In real life, we might refer to this as hitting that wall. It's something that we all experience at some times in our lives. Whether we're little children or not, we have hopes, we have dreams, we have expectations. And then all of a sudden, somebody puts up a stop sign and says, "No, it's not going to happen. No, it's not that easy. No, you didn't bring enough forward." And maybe even, "No, you're not enough." This happens to us sometimes in our relationships. Sometimes this happens to us in our jobs. Sometimes it happens to us as we're told we don't have what it takes when we're going to school. Sometimes it happens to us in our relationships, even with our kids. And sometimes it happens to us as we grow older and expectations drop as far as we are concerned. The real danger when you hit that wall is in despair, giving up and saying, "Okay, I guess I have to stay put in this place. This is my spot." But Dorothy and her friends don't go there. Instead, they embark upon this mission to try to retrieve the broomstick from the Wicked Witch of the West. Without knowing what horrors were before them, and without knowing all of the terrifying things that might be lying in wait for them, they embark upon this. But the really frightening part weren't the things that they might eventually end up with. The real frightening part was that the whole part of making the decision to arrive and to adopt this sense of purpose. We learn a bit later in the story that the so-called wizard really didn't have the power to grant them their wishes anyway. And so what he engaged in was, a bit of a deception, I'd say. Give them something really, really impossible to accomplish. And the likelihood is that they won't even try, or if they try, they're going to fall short. Either way, I'm going to continue to wear the mask as the almighty, all-knowing wizard. And life will go on as usual. And what we understand from this is it doesn't make any difference how high or how low the bar is that the world sets for you. It makes no matter whatsoever. The only thing that matters is the bar that you set for yourself, the purpose that you form in your head and in your heart and in your life for your own self. And we really have to be careful. We really have to be cautious. Because the world really is not so much about setting expectations high for us. The world is really more about concentrating and reminding you of your floor instead of your ceiling. And if you're constantly thinking of where you're stalled and you don't have that sense of purpose, you end up going nowhere. But Dorothy keeps her focus because all that she ever wants is the singular purpose of returning home. Home. What is home? Well, very much like heaven and hell, real home is not a place. Real home is a frame of mind. Real home is a consciousness. My mother always preached that home is the only place where you could scratch regardless of where it may itch. I guess that makes sense. I guess it's a slangy way of saying that home is the one place, the one state of consciousness in which you can be exactly who and what you are, regardless of what that might be. Home is about not just being, but becoming. Home is about warmth. Home is about kindness. Home is wherever there is love, regardless of which you are the lover or the person that is loved. Home is all about compassion. Home is a metaphysical term, actually, because what it really means is home is the kingdom of God. And the tricky part for us to understand is it's not something that we arrive at all of a sudden. But home is something that comes to us in bits and pieces, in small encounters, not just the grandiose stuff. Home comes to us when we receive a bit of kindness out of the blue from a stranger. Home comes to us when we're really down and needing something, and a friend comes along and gives us a hug and encourages us. Home is any time that anybody looks us in the eyes and they're able to see our self-worth, the preciousness that is inside of us. And home is any time that we do the same thing with others. But returning to the story, Dorothy and her friends show up at the witch's mountain, and it's every bit as horrifying and terrifying as they ever could have imagined. At some point, two of those flying monkeys, carry the cowardly lion off, and they have to try to chase him down to rescue him. And there's all kinds of people running around, the guards and the monkeys, and then there's the encounter with the wicked witch herself. And in that encounter, Dorothy kills the wicked witch accidentally. not intentionally, not with any sense of meanness. It just happens as she's trying to save her friend, the scarecrow, who had been set afire. And after the wicked witch dies, Dorothy asks if she could have the broomstick to take back to the wizard. And they give it to her. So back they go to Oz, and they realize that the wizard was a bit of a phony. They come to realize that everything that they were looking for, he himself really did not have the power to grant. But he does end up giving them a gift. And the gift is, he shares with them an awareness that everything that they're looking for individually isn't found by some sort of magic. It isn't found by something on the outside that is presented or given to them. But what they really, really want so desperately is deep within themselves. And those things that indicate that somebody is smart, or that somebody has a heart, or that somebody has courage, they might be symbolized in medals and diplomas and other things, but it's what inside that really, really counts. We get there by having a target, a purpose. If I may, allow me to share a very personal story with you. When I was 15 years old, I was a fine young Catholic boy raised in Catholicism. And I had an older sister who was the loving influence of my life. She was the person who not only changed my diapers, she was the person that sat down with me and nurtured me. She taught me how to read. She taught me how to tell time. She gave me storybooks. I was able to read before I went to kindergarten because she taught me all of the phonics. She taught me basic addition and subtraction. And when I was 15 years old, she was going to get married. Well, there was a problem because the man that she was going to marry had been married before and divorced. And according to the Catholic doctrines, that was a big no-no. At that time, I also had been mentored by a young Catholic priest recently out of the seminary, and he planted in me a seed. How could you go to the wedding? And I really grappled with the whole thing. And contrary to the wishes of my parents, contrary to the wishes of friends who thought I was an idiot, I decided I couldn't do this. And I crawled into her bedroom, sobbing on my knees, literally, telling her I was sorry that I couldn't come. And she was just absolutely magnificent. She hugged me, she nurtured me, she dried my tears and said, everything is okay, don't worry about it. There would come a time, a short while after that I realized I had made a wrong decision. That I didn't decide the correct place to be. And I will share also, it wasn't long afterwards that the Catholic priest who had planted the seed in me came to the same decision. And he too apologized to my sister and her husband at that time, shared with her that he actually had nightmares for that unfortunate influence that he had placed upon me. I'm sharing this story with you because like the crazy broomstick. Yes, I absolutely positively made the wrong decision. I cannot tell you, though, how many times in my life when I was confronted with something really tough and really trying to determine what was the right thing to do, that decision in following what I really thought was the right thing to do at that time gave me the inspiration and the courage to continue to try to do the right thing as much as I possibly could. And there's no question in my mind, there's no way I would be a minister today had it not been for that incident. We so often feel lost. We often feel like we're in a boat without a paddle. We often feel that we're just languishing. And what we're really feeling is a lack of purpose. And what the whole story from the Wizard of Oz should be telling us is that your purpose cannot come from some outside directive. Your purpose cannot come from somebody to tell you to go get the broomstick from the witch, or to join the army, or to be a volunteer, or anything else. Because it has to be your purpose. And maybe that comes in your closest relationship in your life. Maybe it comes to through your dedication for this church family. But whatever it is, your life has to be driven by some sort of not easy to accomplish, but some purpose. And the crazy thing is, whether you actually fulfill that purpose or not is of no consequence. Because it is all about the journey. It is all about getting home a little bit, one step at a time. As for our friend Dorothy, the wizard didn't really have anything in his bag to give to her as a symbol that would help her experience the reality of returning home. Instead, a suggestion was made that she had the power the whole time to return home. And the way that she could start on this journey was very simple, a very simple ritual. And the ritual wasn't doing the trick. The ritual, it's in and of itself, the whole purpose of the ritual was to bring her to a sense of prayer. And so with that, she clicked her ruby slippers on the heels and prayed the mantra over and over again. There is no place like home. There is no place like home. There is no place like home. And so with that, I invite all of you to join me in prayer and meditation so that we could come not just to say it, not just to pray it, but to feel it. Broomsticks or not, there is no place like home.
Trees are smoky and the harvest is in. Shorter days
Join me now in prayer and meditation. Take just a moment, a conscious, deliberate moment to move away from the world and into the truth of your being, into the truth of your soul. Take a nice deep breath, and with your eyes shut, you embrace the darkness, you embrace the comfort of the silence. You embrace the truth that we are just immersed in spirit. Whatever is the ground of your being, whatever it might be that you call God, you are swimming in that reality. Take another breath. Let it out. Close the door on any monkey mind or anything else that might be distracting you. Take yet another breath and make that journey that combines, that puts together, that creates the union between your head and your heart, to understand that that oneness exists there as well. And allow yourself just to go still deeper, where there is only one thing for you to do. Listen to that still, small voice within you. Listen to that whisper, the song of love that is constantly being sung to you. Come home. Come home. However which way that might play out in your lives, we share that message. Come home to the Christ reality, the Spirit of God within you. And so now I invite you just to dwell in that space in some moments of silence. And now softly, kindly, gently, I invite you to return to this space. And as you do so, whatever you might have learned about the very truth of your being, you don't leave it behind. You carry it forth, you bring it with you. You manifest it. You share it. And we take solace and we celebrate the truth that we can return to that space, that still small voice within us anytime we want, as often as we want. Because when we do so, we are answering the call. and for this time together this morning. We pray and we give thanks, because as we give thanks, we amplify that which we are grateful for. And we are so grateful for the love. We are so grateful for the sharing spirit. We are so grateful to be together and create this energy that makes us a little bit more understanding of just exactly how precious we are because of the Christ light within us. We give thanks, Spirit, for whatever small movement we may have made this morning toward returning home. And so it is. Amen. Now is time for our love offering, our sacrament of giving and receiving. We continue to give thanks, this time for the dollars and cents that you may contribute in any way, shape, or form for the support of this physical plant, this spiritual home. And most of all, we give thanks for the gift of self that you present so beautifully in so many ways. This is the one gift that makes the biggest difference in the lives of one another. So please join with me in praying our affirmations. God is my instant, constant, abundant source of supply. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am, I have, I give, and I receive. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all the good that we are, we have, we give, and we receive.
y'all know the song. So go ahead and do a little snappity snap. You'll know what I'm talking about. Or whatever other sound effects you deem appropriate. Okay.
Well done. Much appreciation. I will share with everybody early on in my life, whenever I was driving home after I was married, I would hum that and do that in the car because my family really was very, very strange. We do have some announcements. Next Sunday is Soup Sunday. Please sign up in the dining room to bring your yummy soup to share. Bob Anthony is the man to contact if you need more details. If you're going to bring soup, it's really important that we know that so that we don't compensate or overcompensate by buying something. We have a microwave/convection oven that needs a new home. It's located in the kitchen. If you or anyone you know would like it, you may take it home today. The fundraiser that was launched a couple weeks ago continues. We have set a lofty goal, a high bar of $15,000. As of the time the announcements were printed, we have collected $1,430. We have a long way to go, and we're patient, but please do keep us in mind. And now I have one more announcement that I'm not going to give, but Maria is going to give.
Good morning. At this time of the year when, yes, the veil is thin, we always hold our healing, grief, and loss class. And I find when I ask people about joining the grief and loss class, as I do for spiritual classes, you know who you are, I often get, I've been there, I've done that. But grief and loss is not a one and done thing. And our spirituality is always evolving. There is always grief in any loss. In fact, many people are not aware, but in the past 3 to 4 years, there has been a collective grieving throughout the world since the beginning of COVID in 2019. So back to class. In this class/support group, do we cry? Yes, sometimes. Do we laugh? Yes, sometimes. Do we feel validated? Always. Do we learn to support each other in grief? Yes. So if anything I have just said has nudged you, perhaps you are being guided to join us starting this week, Wednesday, November 1st at 6:30 for our Healing Grief and Loss class. So come join us. We need your support, and you can come see me after the service. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. And now it's time for our congregational blessing. I invite you to stand, turn and face one another across the aisle, and join in, and then remain standing for our prayer of protection and our peace song. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you, and know that you are empowered to do great things. And our prayer of protection: the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there
Be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God.